when we connect with people, when we lead, when we find our tribe and figure out where they want to go and take them there, suddenly everything changes, right? Suddenly, all that matters is you can solve an interesting problem. I'm going to skip ahead of the drinking bird. I'll tell you that another day. So what the internet is doing is saying to people, if you have a book, just write it. If you have a song, just sing it. If you want to put something on a blog, just do it. That we got taught in school to wait until you were picked. That the whole notion of a resume, the whole notion of going on a job interview, the whole notion of having a boss is waiting until you get picked. A publisher, a record label, pick me. The internet is saying, no, 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 no. Here's a microphone, pick yourself. That if you care, put the idea out there. If you care, make the connection. So usually at this point, people hear, all right, great, this is great, Seth. I get the fact that there's a lot of innovation to do. We want to do innovation, but what we do is really important. Failure is not an option. If you say that, you have just announced you don't care at all about innovating. Because if failure is not an option, then neither is success. That what innovation is about is failing over and over and over again until you figure out which art works. The resistance, the lizard, is your compass. That if all we've got, if the only thing that's going to sustain us and our economy is art and connection and leadership, then when that voice speaks up, it is telling you precisely what to do. The opposite of what it wants you to do. This is hard for us, because art is strange. We don't understand that art is about doing gifts, not favors, not presents, but presenting gifts to people. Here, my best work, take it. Because that's what artists do. They have to share it. There's a coffee shop in London called Proof Rock. And they have one of those frequent buyer cards. You get 8 punches, you get a free cup. He put his 8 biggest competitors on there. You get coffee from his 8 biggest competitors, cups on him. Do you think he called them up and said, I'll trade you, you do this, I'll do it? No, he just did it because he cares more about coffee and he cares more about his customers than he cares about how to get another nickel. I went to see Levon Helm in concert, and I looked up, it was a little theater, and there's Donald Fagen on piano. And I'm saying to myself, how much did Levon Helm have to pay Steely Dan's Donald Fagen to come to his little theater on a Saturday night and play the piano? And I went, idiot, he didn't have to pay him anything. Because it's like the farmer's market at the end of the day. Those carrots either get given away or they get thrown out. Donald Fagen's sitting in a home on a Saturday. Is he going to play tonight or he's not going to play that night ever again? And that's what artists do. Artists figure out how to make a connection and share it. Got a couple stories to close with. I was in Boston this morning. Every time I go to Boston, I realize I should have done the opposite of what I did, drive or fly. And I flew, right? Whatever you do, you spend the whole time kicking yourself. So I flew a couple years ago out of White Plains. Flight there, 27 minutes. Flight back, 9 o'clock at night, we circled the airport for an hour and a half, fog. We run out of gas. I don't know what that's about. We make an emergency landing in Albany. Albany, forgive me, it's a pit. And so we're sitting there, and the pilot comes on and says, we're going to be here for an hour and a half, 2 hours, then we think we'll be able to fly back. Maybe we'll get home at midnight. So I open my laptop. Avis has got a car left. I grab it. I stand up. I turn to the audience. I always call everyone an audience. I turn to the people on the airplane, and I say, ladies and gentlemen, my car is in White Plains, so is yours. I got 3 empty seats in the car I just rented. Anyone want to come with me? It'll be free. No one raises their hand. As far as I know, they're still in Albany. And I spent the whole drive thinking about why they did that. And then I realized the answer. If you get off the plane, whatever happens is your fault. If you stay on the plane, it's United's fault. And staying on the plane is what you've been trained to do. Come up with a safe way, regardless of the economy, regardless of the situation, to make it someone else's fault. That's the only thing that keeps people from doing art. It's the only thing that keeps people from leading. It's not a lack of skill. It's a lack of being able to ignore the lizard. David Rakoff tells a great story of sitting in the movies. Just before it starts, a woman comes down the aisle and says, I'm sorry, is this seat taken? What? And then he has a crisis right then and there. Is this seat taken? Do you know how many people want your seat? How many people want the trust you have and the leverage you have and the pay you have and the education you have and the ability to influence things you have? Your job isn't your job. Your job is a platform. It's a platform to do art. It's a platform to make mistakes. It's a platform to lead. It's a platform to do something that matters. So you can look at the economy, you can look at the death of the industrial age, you can look at everything falling apart, and you can say, it's over. Or you can say, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Because yeah, I am capable of making art and giving gifts and leading and connecting and shipping and making a difference. I am capable of doing work that would cause me to be missed if I stopped doing it, not just be an interchangeable person on an assembly line. I can, yeah, poke the box, go out there and fail.